Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Chris Hawkes, and this is Your Best Life Defined. Hope you're doing well this morning. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing better than you did yesterday. You know, it's kind of frustrating. I run back and forth on this, and I keep thinking about, well, how do I connect with you in a way that actually gets your attention enough to realize that it's not too late, first and foremost. It's not too late to start living your best life. But more than that, that even if you don't have money to do the amazing things, you can still live one hell of a good life, right? You can still live and be working towards living your best life. See, that's the bull crap you get. I'll start talking to people about living their best life, and they're like, well, how? I don't have any money. I can't live best life. I'm living in debt. It's not a money thing. Living your best life is not a money thing. There are plenty of things in your life you can improve. There are plenty of things in your life you can make better so that they actually add value and energy to your life. They put fuel in your tank. People are like, well, no, it takes money for that. No, it doesn't. It doesn't take money for you to jump in the car, you and your person, and to spend an hour and a half a day walking and talking, getting to know each other. It doesn't take money for that. It doesn't take money to become those kind of friends, because that's what it does. You spend time with someone, you either learn to not like them or you learn to really, truly love them and appreciate them. And it comes down to your mindset. For me, I look at Sandy, and the scariest thing about our relationship right now is the fact that there's going to come a time when I have to say goodbye to her. And that's one of the most difficult moments I will ever face in my life. Can't do anything about it except make the best of every moment I have with her. Thanks, baby. You could go ahead and stop accepting the fact that you're out of shape, or that you're carrying an extra 20 pounds, or that the dream of looking like you did when you were in high school or in college, where you had that slim waist and you could wear those nice, beautiful dresses, whoever you are or whatever your thing is, it's not a money thing for you to accomplish that goal. It's not a money thing to make that aspect of your life better. Because just imagine, let's say nothing else in your life changes except for you get in shape and you start pumping iron and you start working out, and the next thing you know, you're looking all good again, and people are starting to notice and say, hey, wow, what are you doing? Even if you don't have money, that sure feels good, don't it? Not a money thing to get that feeling where you're like, yeah, that feeling of satisfaction, like you showed up and you did your thing, not because you wanted to or because of how it felt, but because that was the thing you needed to do to get to where you want to be. Not a money thing. Relationship, the same thing. Your job. Your job sucks. Why does your job suck? It isn't because the job sucks. The job's been there longer than you have. The reason the job sucks is because you think it sucks. And the reason you think it sucks is because you're not doing anything with that job that makes it any better. That's not a money thing. Okay, maybe they are not going to pay you anymore. Maybe you could just go ahead and come to work every day with the idea that you're going to do your best for you, so you can make sure that you know everything possible about the job you do. And if the job is a dead end, if it's not taking you anywhere, then what you can do is, while you're doing that job, you can use that job and all the resources it provides to give you access to the job you're going after. To start that conversation in your head about, yeah, you know what, I'm going to pick up an extra shift and that money's going to go in the bank simply because I need to get certified in this, or I want to jump over here. Maybe I want to go to lineman school. Maybe I want to have enough money in the bank to go back to school to be a barber. Maybe work evenings and go to barber school during the day. Who knows? I mean, this is your story. This is your plan. But it's not a money thing. It's a dream thing. It's an idea thing. It's a waking up every day wanting something more for yourself in some area of your life. Learn something new. How many languages do you speak? You ever wanted, I've always wanted to learn to speak Spanish, and I speak some Spanish, but I'm not by any means fluent. But my problem is it hasn't actually rose to that level on my scale of things I want to do, to the point that I've made it first. Now, let's just say, for instance, hypothetically, let's say this thing blows up, and the next thing I know, I've got people in Mexico and Latin America that are wanting me to come and speak and talk. Well, yeah, I suppose maybe that might be motivation enough for me to learn how to speak Spanish. I don't know for sure. But the point is, that doesn't take any money. It doesn't take any money for you to become a better person for you. for you to spend time with you and start asking yourself questions about who you are and what inspires you, and to start doing some of that, or start learning more about yourself so you can do some of that. That's not a money thing. It doesn't take money for you to decide one day, like I did, that anger doesn't work, that hate doesn't work, that being all shielded up away from the world so no one can love you and therefore no one can hurt you is not a good idea, and it doesn't work. And it's certainly not a money thing. You don't have to have $1 million in the bank to decide, you know what, I'm going to be vulnerable and I'm going to show up every day because I can, because it makes my life better. I have $100, I think about $100 in software I'm using to write my book. And I've had it for years. There's nothing stopping me from writing my book except finding the motivation to do it, except for setting aside that time that it takes to write a book. Because I have all the information. I know everything I need to know to write that book. I just have to find the motivation to do it. And my motivation is, I believe once I write it, it will give me residual benefits. It will make my life better. I kind of got inspired today. I'm over here working on the second draft. And Sandy asked me, she goes, do you honestly think maybe you'll sell some of those copies? I said, sure I will. Sure I will. My first book is about RVing. It's about RV life. I haven't named it yet, but it's basically a culmination of the things that we've learned with regard to personal safety, the RV experience, things you could probably would like to know before you jump in. And even if you're already in the RV life, there are things you probably have never thought about involved in this. It's just about giving back. Will I get a return? Yeah, the book's not going to be free. I'm going to sell the book. And I'm sure that there's someone out there who would like to have some of those questions answered. So I'm taking a shot at it. And if it works out the way I think it will, it's going to make my life better. And I will be able to check off that checkbox on one more thing that I've accomplished in my life. One more thing that I've went ahead and stepped out there and did. And how much money do I have involved? Nothing. No more than an expensive dinner in a sushi restaurant. You know? So stop hiding. If you're making up excuses about, well, you know, I'd like to go to school, but I don't have enough money, that's okay. Okay, why don't you just start with learning something about where you want to go and what you want to do with it? Learning about how you can find that money, how you can earn that money, maybe doing something to step up in your job or to add a job. Maybe you shouldn't be hanging out in the evenings. Maybe you do need to go ahead and compromise and sacrifice for a year so you can put money away. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know your life particularly or specifically, but I can tell you that the routine and the things we do are all pretty much the same. It starts with action. It starts with waking up excited. And especially when it comes to that relationship, I can't stress enough. Having a great relationship isn't about the car you own or the big-ass house you live in. Finding happiness and contentment in your life is not about the things you own unless the things you own give you access to the life you want to live. I have snowshoes. We're excited. I wanted to ask my son. They're stored at his house, but now that we're back in Colorado, Sandy and I are going to get back out there and do snowshoeing. We're going to snowshoe some more. Love it. It's hard work. It's exhilarating. It's interesting in so many ways, but one of them is that you're usually the only one out there. Hostile conditions. Well, last time we snowshoed, it was -13. We didn't get cold. We had the gear. We were excited, exhilarated about the fact that we were out there doing it, you know? And I don't know, there's something about that. You ever do something no one else is doing and think to yourself how cool you are or how great it is that you have the nerve to go out there and do that? That's part of what drives me. I mean, so what? Maybe I'm not the best author. Maybe I'm not the best podcaster. But even when I'm leaving that money sitting in the bank, even when I'm not touching that money, I continue to go after shit that makes my life better. Is it reality? Maybe, maybe not. But everything great starts with a dream. Every great action, every great event in life begins with a thought, and then it's followed up by action that takes you to that point, that takes you to where you think you want to be, takes you towards that dream you have. It's kind of like the Polar Express. Kind of like the Polar Express, an idea in a little boy's head about Santa Claus and about what can be. Next thing he's there, boom. That's kind of cool, isn't it? Isn't it? So what about it? What about it? Are you ready? What thing in your life can you do right now that is going to give you benefits that you will never even imagine? I talk about my wife. I talk about my kids. I spend a lot of time talking to my children, helping them through things, giving advice. And you know what's funny is I have this podcast and I don't think any of my children even listen to it. And you know why? Because they know who I am. They know what I'm going to say. Because this is a story I've been living. I talk about it all the time. Every once in a while, it's kind of cool, though, because it comes into play. It comes into play when you talk to your child and you all of a sudden your adult child and you hear them saying what you've been telling the world for years. You know, that you have to build your life around who you are first. And the amount of stuff you have doesn't matter. It's not the amount of stuff you have, it's the quality of choices you've made. People who love to fish should own a boat, should own nice fishing gear. They certainly shouldn't own a big-ass house that takes all their time and all their money. People who love to rock climb should own the best gear, should own nice ropes and all the equipment that goes with it, harnesses and all that. Great climbing shoes, right? They don't need a lot of clutter in their life. They don't need a bunch of woodworking tools because somewhere in the back of their mind they had a fleeting idea that they might want to be a woodworker, but they never pursued it long enough to actually evaluate the likelihood of it. The world is full of exercise machines, motorcycles, bicycles, RVs and boats based on the idea that because everyone else is doing it, it's good for me. And those items aren't being used right now. Well, the exercise machines, they do tend to make a great clothes rack. If you're hanging your clothes up in the bedroom, you can just hang shit up there. At least that works for that. But that boat out in the back, you paid, $28,000 for. The cover's tattered on it, or maybe you only paid $14,000. Who knows? But it's not covered up. You didn't have the engine serviced. It hasn't been on the water in 2 years. You still got another year's payments on it. Man, bet you wish you had that back, huh? Maybe living your best life is about you going ahead and handling that business, being realistic about it, cleaning that boat up, selling that boat just because you know you could use that cash for something else. And you certainly don't need a boat you're not using in your yard, right? No one cares. No one cares. It's all about you, guys. All about you. But I think I've gotten on this. I think I've made my point. I think the reality is this. No matter where you are in your life or no matter what happened in your life, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what you do from this point forward. What you do from this point forward. And it's not a money thing. You know when it becomes a money thing? When everything else in your life is just so in such tip-top shape based on who you are, connected to who you are, driving you forward and energizing you, that the only option you have left is to go buy something, go buy a better life. Right? And then, of course, you do it. You pick it, and you pick it based on who you are, what inspires you, and you go after it. I look back at my years in the federal prison working as an officer and then maintenance, and then I ended up being a teacher. But I remember looking back, and I regret that I didn't embrace the experience. I think there at the last 9 years as a CAD instructor, I actually got to know the guys that were serving time, and I got to realize and see them for who they truly are. And then that was part of this. That was part of this that actually culminated in what I'm doing now, because I did this for years in prison. I talked to guys about their goals and about their dreams and about how to achieve things that seem impossible. And like them, most of it centers around things that don't cost anything except time and effort. So, I don't know. Don't come to me with the idea that I don't have enough money. I don't have the money. Well, if you don't have the money, there's still an action involved, and there's still a way to make your life better. But there are so many things in our lives that don't require anything but effort, don't require anything for time. And if you want to find the energy, if you want to be inspired to pursue other things in your life, to go after other big dreams in your life, pick some of those things that don't cost anything. Pick some of those things that will give you immediate benefits, like the kindness and consideration, like sitting back and listening to what your partner is talking about, to share dreams and feelings and ideas with your partner about what could be, about your vision for your life together with them. I bet it'll inspire them. I bet it will get them up and say, who is this guy? Who is this gal? Who are you? because people don't act that way. People don't do it. We grind our lives away like everyone else, doing exactly what everyone else is doing. And for some reason, we can't seem to understand why we can't get a different outcome. So keep it in mind. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you showing up every day. I'm going to continue to do what I do. I hope you'll follow, share. Check out my YouTube channel. I think I have 11 subscribers. Yeah, 11 guys, 11 people that are interested in me. That's cool. I'm not going to give it up because I got to know the secret. The secret is to wake up every day energized. And I know how to do it. If you stick around, I'm sure eventually you're going to pick it up. So just keep that in mind. Remember, kindness is the platform. And as always, just remember today's your day. Make it a good one.